So my Scheppach Basato 1 bandsaw. I've swapped the blade out from the original. It's more like a hacksaw blade. Here's the original, just more like a shark tooth kind of pattern. Just seeing if I got my bandsaw blade from Mr. Bandsaw. No, it's not a lot to tell me exactly what size, or not what size it is, what the teeth per inch. Anyway, but there is a little history about this. I made some new holders for the lock bolt on the top and on the bottom. They were plastic, but I made them out of aluminium. Now, shortly after I did that, something happened on the back. At the moment, I know that I can only use the head at one height. So I mean, let's have a look. Yeah, so I mean, I can use that because I only have a rough saw stuff. But if I go to adjust it, what happens exactly is what I need to know. So one of the problems, I think, I'm loosening off. Oh, everything's falling down. So I'm loosening this off. Out. Alright, that weren't very cool. So that's the adjuster. It wants to fall down. It wants to fall down. Probably because I've undone it completely. Now, let's have a look. So there's the spring. There's a little cap goes on top of that. There's a little bolt that sticks out. Let's open this up and have a look. Okay, so there is a broken part. I think I just probably snapped that out, and that comes from here. So what this is some sort of guide. The plastic on this has disintegrated fairly quickly. This is a candidate for JB Weld repair, no question about that. Be stronger than the original plastic, I would think. So what I've got to do is get this whole mech out here, this whole height adjuster guide, and then we can repair this part of the guide from the inside. So what's happening is it's kind of going up. It's not staying there. There we are. Yeah, so this broken part should of course have this on the bottom of it. It's part of the height thing. It's obviously, whoa, hello. And it goes up like that. Yeah, and that grabs in between something. Anyway, you can see the problem there. We've got to get this out and repair it. In order to get that out, we've just got to take the blade off. So I'm here in the workspace to fix this. ABS, I'm surprised that is ABS, because it's very brittle. Anyway, I think the original brake was there on this piece, which made it very difficult to use, and then this piece finally snapped off, making it impossible to use. So what I'm going to do is like sandpaper this up so that my JB Weld adheres properly into this. It's a bit awkward because that's a bit bent. It really should be clamped. That should be clamped down. But what I'm going to try and do is Actually, you know, I was thinking of making one of these out of steel, but it's so small I wouldn't really have an accurate enough welder to get this stuff together. And I was thinking maybe it's supposed to be plastic for it to be a weak link or something. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is like reinforce it with JB Weld, but I'm going to sandpaper it up to get it clean and a surface where this thing can adhere into. So where's that guide covered in JB Weld, and hopefully that will work. Now if it doesn't work, this is the guide. Now what I've found is a piece of 1.2mm aluminium sheet, and I've cut that, and that fits down the slot just right. Okay, and it probably needs a little bit more work. And there's the slot. It's difficult to see, it starts higher on this side than this side. And that's what that piece of plastic goes down. Now obviously there's some forming on the front of that plastic in the shape of the guides, but this will do as a guide back. At the moment it's a little bit too big. I'm just going to take it out and file the sides down a little bit more. So I've still got the ABS part covered in JB Weld, and what I've managed to do is kind of fabricate this out of 1.2mm aluminium. Now this is the Mark I homemade version, rough. This was rough measurements. Well, let's see where it fits. So it's 1.2mm, it goes in this slot, and it hooks up with this other slot. Make sure we're in there. And probably picked up one or two little folds in the metal on these ears, so it's not going to slide easily until I rework it. But that's where she goes. And to be honest, this 1.2mm aluminium, even though it's pretty weak, it's actually stronger than that ABS. What I'm going to have to do is just go and remachine that, make sure that's nice and no kinks. But you know, there are obvious cosmetic differences in the way that this is done. This ear sticks out further than that there. You know, it's not precise. The distance in between is approximate. It's approximately 38mm. But the width is the same. The width is not the same as the actual guides, but I don't actually know exactly how much of a... I mean, let's be honest, it's a tiny little piece of plastic. If it's taking structural loads, it's pretty ridiculous, really. I think it's just to stop the guide falling too fast. Anyway, so like I say, I've got to actually just get it to slide in the hole better. It was sliding pretty well, but... So there's quite a lot of resistance. But it's you know, it's just similar properties to ABS, this 1.2mm aluminium. And this is just something that I knocked up with a pair of tin snips and some 1.2mm aluminium sheet. Well, what I'm going to do is go and refit that in the machine to see whether that guide works any better. I mean, it can't work any worse because it fell to pieces on me and just all collapsed. So what I've done is put some grease in with that nylon worm gear, and I think that's M6, and I'm just got to go outside in the shed and fit that on there. So the first tang of that self-made, homemade height adjuster guide goes over that part of the machine case, and the other bit's under it. And Now I'm going to have to hold it all together at the moment because I haven't done it up at the back. So here's one part of that guide. Now if it sticks out too far, I could snip it off before it fouls the blade, but it looks like the blade's going to foul up here first. But there could be a recess for the wheel with the blade on it, of course. So it's sort of gone to the extreme up on the under, but it should be able to slide on that, slide in that recess. So kind of in two minds of how this works exactly. I do know one thing. I've got it to sort of moves up and down now. So if I actually look at where it says, I think that says 10. So I've obviously got it miscalibrated because I've got it on 0. Unless that's 10 millimeters, of course. And it does look to be, it could be 10 millimeters. It's starting off at 10 millimeters, so let's... Yeah, see, it's strange that it fouls the blade when it comes up to the maximum of 100 millimeters. Must be 100 millimeters then. 100 millimeters of travel. Let's just see if... oh yeah, it turns. It don't foul nothing. And that's actually... It's knocked the bottom of my little stay. So maybe it'll probably be better to use vernier caliper here. You know, don't... I think the scale is now out because I've used a little bit of aluminium. So let's go down. Yeah. And it just stops it falling, I suppose. It's grounded out. I wonder if it would work there. Yeah, it would work, wouldn't it? Yeah, it's very low down. Oh, I haven't got the little plastic thingy. Maybe we can knock one of these out with some aluminium. Just pop it in there. That'd be interesting. All right, well let's do what you're not supposed to do. Okay. So my device is fouling on the wheel. So when you come up to the top, it's grounded out. You just have to go forward, I think. Well, I don't know, it's not grounding on the wheel. Maybe that would act as a sort of wheel cleaner, you know. So I'm going to put the safety glasses on, as you do, and we'll give it another start at the highest, the 100 millimeter height gap. That's probably as tight as I want to take that.